Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless horror. Dumas' private party is an ambush. Here's how we know. The name Aristotle Dumas is on the tip of every tongue among Genoa City's upper crust these days. And we mean everyone. Not only has he been the talk of the town for months, but speculation about his private party in Nice, France, has the alias now being uttered every 5 seconds or so. While some folks are full of anticipation, others are guarded. And they're wise to be wary. Genoa City's elite have seen some things in their soap lifetimes, so Dumas's invitations have definitely raised the hairs on the back of a few necks. Black and gold embossed envelopes arriving mysteriously amid speculation. That Aristotle is coming after various family companies definitely contributed to the growing sense of unease. But the offer of an all-expenses-paid trip to his private estate on the French Riviera for a select few was truly an eyebrow-raiser. Dumas emerged on the business scene a handful of years back and has never shown his face, even on the internet. Presumably, only those who work closely with him have seen him. He wouldn't even meet with Billy after reaching out to him regarding Chancellor. Now, he suddenly seems set to reveal himself to an entire group. It leaves one with more questions than answers. The entire scenario is kinda spooky. But the one thing you can count on in a soap opera is that there will be clues in the dialogue as to what's going on. There's a reason that this party is being held on the cryptic date of Friday the 13th, and that invitees are calling the whole thing creepy and feeling a sense of foreboding. And the reason isn't good. Case in point was the recent dialogue between Chelsea and Adam, who felt snubbed after not receiving an invitation. Now, there are many reasons that might have happened. Perhaps Newman Media isn't on Dumas's radar. Or maybe Dumas knows someone needs to stay back and hold down the fort, which would suggest he has an intimate knowledge of Newman Enterprises. Finally, it wouldn't be at all surprising if Adam and Dumas have a prickly past as well. After all, we all believe the mystery mogul will be exposed as someone we already know. Find out who here. Strikingly, however, Adam told Chelsea that he feels she's right, and they're better off on this side of the ocean. He had the feeling Dumas is setting a trap. Adam even went so far as to say, something doesn't feel right. We can only speak for ourselves, but we trust Adam's gut. And we believe this was the writers letting us know that the creepy invitations from a recluse for an isolated private party on Friday the 13th are indeed something to worry about. At worst, we could be looking at something out of a horror story. Someone goes missing or gets killed at the remote estate. The kickoff for a murder mystery, maybe. At best, the murder mystery would be of the fake party variety, and no one would actually be harmed. Somewhere in the middle is the possibility that Dumas will reveal himself at the bash and will prove to be someone all those in attendance know, fear, or with whom they share a past connection. Any way you slice it, the party qualifies as an ambush, as the party guests are sure to be taken off guard no matter what happens. Let's hope everyone comes out unscathed and makes it home to Genoa City. And let's hope we can finally stop hearing the name Aristotle Dumas. It started with an invitation, embossed in gold, scented faintly of amber and spice, and signed by none other than the elusive Aristotle Dumas. For weeks, the young and the restless had been teasing an event so exclusive, so elite, that even Victor Newman had to pull a few strings to secure a seat. Officially titled A Night to Remember, it was to be hosted at the Dumas estate, a sprawling neo-Gothic manor nestled in the wooded cliffs outside Genoa City. The whispers were seductive. New alliances, old secrets, and business deals. Poised to shift the very balance of power. But no one knew that behind the velvet drapes and clinking crystal glasses, a meticulously planned ambush was brewing. One that would leave lives shattered, alliances obliterated, and reveal the true identity of the man calling himself Aristotle Dumas. Let's unpack the build-up, the clues, the horror, and the fallout from the most terrifying night in Genoa City's recent history. The setup: Dumas' rising influence ever since Aristotle. Dumas slithered into Genoa City. Viewers and characters alike have questioned his motives. Ostensibly, Dumas was a jet-setting entrepreneur with interests in biotech, finance, and cultural investments, whatever that meant. But it didn't take long before he began worming his way into the power structure of the city. He charmed Nikki with fine art, offered Lily a publishing deal too good to be true, and even brokered a tentative truce between Jack and Victor. Which should have been our first red flag. Dumas didn't create peace, he weaponized it. The private party was framed as a celebration of collaborative prosperity, a gathering of Genoa City's elite to toast a future shaped by unity. And progress. That, of course, was a lie. The invitation list. Why these people? Only a select group received invitations, hand-delivered in unmarked black envelopes. Victor and Nikki Newman, old money, unmatched power. Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins, corporate royalty with complicated baggage. Lily Winters and Devon Hamilton. Representatives of the city's new school, Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles, Dumas's latest pawns. Ashley Abbott, noticeably invited alone. Despite her volatile state of mind, Adam Newman, Dumas' pet project. Or perhaps the next in his line of victims, Sharon Newman, curiously included, though not attached to any current major deal. Every invitation came with a subtle warning. This night will change everything. Come prepared. Red flags before the party fans began putting the pieces together well before the party. Here's what stood out. 1. Ashley's therapy sessions were being recorded. Ashley had been receiving text messages referencing things she'd only said in private therapy. At first, it seemed like a breakdown, until viewers noticed the camera, hidden in the antique clock Dumas gifted her. Audra's lost time. Audra confided in Nate that she couldn't remember a stretch of 2 hours during a lunch meeting with Dumas. I remember walking in. Then I woke up in my car, she said. It's like he flipped a switch in my brain. 3s. Adam's microchip scan this one nearly broke the fandom. While scanning his laptop for malware, Adam discovered a frequency file, one only detectable through spectrogram analysis. When played through an audio filter, the signal embedded in the file triggered nausea and confusion. Coincidence? Not in this universe. The Night Begins guests arrived at the Dumas estate at twilight. Cloaked valets collected keys. No cell phones were allowed. The reasoning? To encourage presence. But the real reason was to eliminate external witnesses. The foyer was opulent, but freezing cold, as if the walls were made of stone, not marble. Candles flickered despite the absence of wind. There were no visible staff, just a soft ambient soundtrack of strings. And something just beneath the surface. A low-frequency pulse. Unnoticeable at first, but deeply unsettling. Victor leaned into Nikki. This place gives me the creeps. The ambush unfolds. What happened next was a psychological horror worthy of Hitchcock. Hour 1. Secrets revealed. Each guest was escorted to a separate room for a private introduction. Once alone, the lights dimmed, and holographic projections began. Not slideshows, surveillance footage. Hidden cameras from boardrooms, bedrooms, even a therapist's office. Devon watched himself admit he never trusted Lily to lead Chancellor Winters. Jack was shown negotiating a shady patent buyout. Adam saw footage of himself breaking into Newman Media last year. Nikki's relapse. On video. Audra's voice saying, I could destroy Kyle if I wanted. I already have. None of these recordings had ever been seen by a soul. When the guests rejoined in the Great Hall, the tension was palpable. Hour 2. The game. Begins Aristotle finally emerged, wearing a velvet suit and a hollow smile. Tonight, he began, is not about business. It's about truth and power and liberation. He introduced a game. Each guest would receive a sealed black envelope. Inside was a name. They had 1 hour to eliminate that person from the party, not physically, but socially. Confess secrets, air grievances, sabotage reputations, If your name is revealed 3 times, Dumas warned, you lose, permanently. At first they laughed, until a massive screen behind the banquet table lit up with a leaderboard and timers. Hour 3. Emotional meltdowns and betrayals. The game escalated quickly. Nikki exposed that Diane had once tried to seduce Victor while pretending to reconcile with Jack. Lily publicly confronted Devon about his vote to replace her, causing a rift so loud security had to intervene. Adam turned the table on Victor, revealing confidential documents about offshore Newman assets. Ashley accused Jack of drugging her, a claim even she wasn't sure was false. And Sharon? She didn't participate. She simply watched, lips trembling, because she recognized the tactics. She'd seen them before. The real identity of Aristotle Dumas it was Sharon, who finally whispered it aloud. "This isn't Aristotle Dumas," she said. "This is Caden Walker." Longtime fans may remember the name. Caden was a grief counselor with controversial neurological research ties, who once tried to start a clinic in Genoa City years ago and was run out after Victor exposed his methods as dangerous. Global empire, Caden, now Dumas, had returned. And this party wasn't about business. It was about control. His goal, to test psychological dominance. To break Genoa City's strongest minds and rebuild them in his image. The final hour. Lockdown. The estate locked down. No one could leave. The exits were sealed, cars disabled, phones confiscated. That's when the hallucinations began. Yes, hallucinations. Dumas had diffused a low-grade hallucinogen through the ventilation system. Not enough to cause full psychosis, just enough to weaken perception. Sharon, immune thanks to a med she was taking for anxiety, led the resistance. She navigated the house like a maze, helping others come down from their fear-induced highs. The moment that broke the viewers' hearts? Nikki, crying in a locked bathroom, believing she was trapped in the same room where her father died. A false memory planted by Dumas's team. The escape with Adam and Sharon's help. They hacked the internal system, bypassed the lockdown, and blew the main circuit breaker. One by one, the guests stumbled out, bleeding, broken, betrayed. But Dumas, he was gone. His parting message played on every phone in Genoa City as power returned. "Thank you for participating in the experiment. I learned so much. I hope you did too." Fallout. What happens next? Diane and Jack. Destroyed. Jack can't forgive. Diane's betrayal during the game. She exploited their deepest vulnerabilities. Divorce seems imminent. Victor and Adam. Truce or terror. Victor's documents are now public. Adam holds power, but he's shaken. Could he be the next Dumas? 3. Lily and Devon. CEO war with trust destroyed, the siblings may find themselves on opposite sides of a hostile takeover. Sharon. The hero Genoa City. Doesn't deserve. Sharon's intuition and resilience saved everyone. But at what cost? She's having nightmares. And a shadowy figure was seen watching her from across crimson lights. So, was this horror over the top? Sure. But soap fans live for the outrageous, and this storyline was masterfully interwoven with genuine emotion, psychological, realism, and mystery. It's rare to see the young and the restless venture into psychological thriller territory, but when it does, wow, does it stick the landing. Theories for what's coming. Aristotle, Caden isn't done. This was just phase 1. Someone helped him. Could it be Audra? Nate? Claire? A survivor will flip. One of the attendees has already aligned themselves with Dumas. Their identity will stun us. There's another event coming. Rumors swirl about a winter gala in the Alps. Could it be another trap? Final thought, Genoa City has faced scandal, murder, and betrayal. But what happened at Dumas' private party wasn't just another power grab. It was an ambush of the soul. And now, the survivors must rebuild their lives, while always looking over their shoulders, waiting for the next move from the ghost in the shadows. He's still out there, and he's still watching.